It's 26 to 2. Murray Sawchuck is one of the most creative people who's ever taken to the stage in Las Vegas, and he mixes it up, a stage illusionist, magician, comedian and actor, and back at Crown tomorrow night. Murray, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me on. I'm thrilled to be here again.
Who were your inspirations?
You know, I grew up watching Dean Martin, Phyllis Diller, Danny Kaye, all those people. I mean, obviously as a kid from Maggie, I saw Copperfield on TV years ago, but I was inspired by a lot of the older actors, of the time.
None of them magicians, though?
None of them, no. I just love the entertainment factor and the personality. Everyone was a triple threat, and that's why when I came into the business, I didn't want to just be a magician. I want to be a personality, I want to be a comedian, and obviously a historian now with Pawn Stars.
A lot of people, yes, with Pawn Stars, that's P-A-W-N,
that's right.
And America's Got Talent.
Yeah, exactly. America's Got Talent. It changed my whole career, And it's one of those things where I just realized, we were talking with the Pawn Stars, I'm the first person from that TV series, the Pawn Stars, to be in Australia, showcasing myself, because nobody's been over here yet. So,
did you always want to do telly?
Yeah, I always wanted to. I think I was always fascinated by it, and I think the amount of exposure and the way you can, create art on television is a lot different than live. Nothing beats, obviously, a live entertainment, because you get applause right away, but there's element of TV that's great.
There'd be people applauding you right now in their cars.
Very nice. And they better be watching the road. It's a little rainy out there.
It is. What's we spoke to you about a year ago on the show. What's new in the show tomorrow night at Crown?
Well, the show that I brought here is so comedy-based. 80% of it's all comedy. I mean, there's some great magic tricks in that. But as people saw in America's Got Talent, I vanished trains and did stuff with tigers. Well, we left all those back in Las Vegas because it's kind of hard getting a coach class seat for a tiger or a train. But it's I brought also a dancer with me who happens to be my wife as well, Chloe Crawford, and she's in the show Fantasy at the Luxor. And then my guest act, Lefty. He's also a consultant. He's consulted with the Human Nature show, which you guys know Human Nature pretty well.
Very well.
And Boys to Men and Meatloaf and all that, so he's my guest act in the show as well. So there's lots of features of the hour-and-a-half show.
You happy to take some calls?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Stephen, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sawchuck and Dennis. Mr. Sawchuck, are you in relation to Terry Sawchuck, who played for the Detroit Blue Wings in the NHL?
Yeah, I know the NHL very well. Yes, he would be my cousin. My father worked for the Vancouver Canucks for over 37 years, so I have a very hockey-related family. But yeah, he's a cousin of mine, so...
Oh, great. Yeah, he was great. He was a very, very, very good goalkeeper.
One of the best. Yeah, one of the best, for sure.
Were you a sporting person?
Not so much, no. Have you ever seen me, I can play Frisbee, and that's about it. And I play golf for charity. I play golf like 9 times a year for charities, but I'm not the most athletic, hence that's why I'm a magician. So.
Stephen, thank you very much for your call, because Sawchuck's an unusual surname, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Are there many Sawchucks?
There's not that many. It's a Ukrainian background, because that's where my family's from, Ukrainian. The Murray is my mother's last name, so it's Scottish, so I'm kind of half Scottish, half Ukrainian. That's why I just go by Murray. It's a lot easier to remember, so it's a lot easier to remember.
How do you create an illusion that is yours? Like a signature?
I think the way you do it is like anything, like a singer creates a song or an actor creates a piece that they get given words and they recreate. I think you take an idea and a principle and you actually design it for your personality. Like you could give David Copperfield and you can give Chris Angel and you give myself a rope trick where you cut it and put it back together. But all three of us will do it completely different because the more and more you get into your career, the more people buy your personality and they come to see you, not just the tricks. I think that's really important for a lot of people.
When you're working in Vegas, how much of the year does that take up?
Over summer we were doing shows 7 days a week. Literally, I just finished my last show 2 days ago for the summer there, and I have the month of September off. Came here to tour Australia for a week and a half, and then we'll go back and do a few charities up until the end of September. Then we're back in Vegas October 1st, right through till January 5th. So.
You're doing illusions, you're doing comedy, you're doing magic. Has anything ever gone wrong?
Oh, of course, my God, all the time. The key is, I think that's how I turned into the comedy magician, because when it's comedy, it becomes funny. Less amazing, but a lot funnier. And I realized that if you want to get on TV more so, comedy sells a lot easier on TV as well. So yeah, there's a lot of things that have happened from where I've had explosions on stage and I forgot to tell a theater to turn the fire alarms off, where I basically evacuated a massive college and university in the middle of the night, and they were writing final exams, and I had no idea that was going to happen. I didn't get hurt.
That's when you wish you disappeared.
Tell me about it. Oh yeah, when you talk to the fire department afterwards, you're like, did you realize what you did? And you got to play dumb sometimes. So.
Murray, is it tomorrow night at Crown, 8 p.m, the Palms at Crown Casino? For bookings, go to Ticket Tech. Some of the stars that you performed with.
Yes, I've worked with from people from Neil Sedaka to Alice Cooper Of course, Johnny Depp, we did some stuff with him last year with the Alice Cooper Show. He plays a great guitar, a phenomenal guitar player. And Davy Jones, and the list goes on, Toby Keith and Garth Brooks and everybody. And one thing I've always liked about these different acts is they've always met their fans after the show. And I've been a huge believer in that. And that's one thing at the Crown, since I'm the first one from the Pawn Stars to be over here. After the show, I'm going to do a meet and greet where I get, I want to meet everybody, sign autographs, take pictures, and I'll stand there as long as, I get to meet everybody, that wants to say hi to me. Because I think it's important,
Of course it's important. A few weeks ago, we got the opportunity to speak to Rod Stewart. Now,
great man.
You would think, Rod Stewart doesn't need to, do interviews and whatever because he's such a huge star and his new
legend.
album's on top of the charts, but that's one of the reasons he's in that situation is because he makes himself available to all audiences.
I agree with you, and I think you can never forget that no matter what stage of your career you're in, because when you're on top, you go down and then you got to come back up again, and I think it's really important to stay in touch with your fans because that's what makes you, So yeah, so I love doing that. I really enjoy it. And sure, there's days you have a headache and don't want to do it, but that's part of the job. You're in a public profile,
96900 693 is what you do. You mentioned yourself, David Copperfield, and someone else there.
Chris Angel.
Chris Angel. Yeah. That's not many people at the very top level, is it?
Not at all.
With world profiles.
Not at all, and I think TV has that power. I've been very fortunate over the last 5 to 6 years to be on TV almost every month, from Top Gear to America's Got Talent, the Pawn Stars, to the show it's called What Not to Wear on TLC, and I believe it airs over here on a different network. And I'm on that in October. So it's the idea of keeping your name always out there and being different and being approachable, and I'm always on Twitter, and my Twitter, of course, is Murray Sawchuck, which is my last name. And I'm the actual one doing it. I don't have someone doing it for me. I like to be in touch with the people.
Is there a trick that you want to do that you haven't been able to do?
Yeah, there's one I do want to do, and
Could you make our politicians disappear?
That could cost you, but it's possible. If I stay another week, I might be able to work that out for you.
Just a thought. Sorry.
No, one of the tricks, and I'm still designing it right now, is where I make a full-size lit-up Ferris wheel appear on stage out of nowhere. I've always loved Ferris wheels. I think everyone knows what they are since a kid. You've always either ridden on one or seen one at the fair, but it's never been done before. So I've got the blueprint and the design for one. So
we've got one here that doesn't really work.
Really? Maybe I can fix it.
Not far away, and
really?
We're waiting on it. It started and then it stopped. And
really?
Yes.
Well, hopefully somebody's not still in the top bucket at the top.
No, there's no. No, it's had to be taken apart, and we've all got our fingers crossed. It's going to be a big day when it finally starts working down there at Docklands. Murray, lovely to see you. Tomorrow night, Crown, 8 p.m. at the Palms. It's the best room going around in Australia. For bookings, go to Ticket Tech, and I'll talk to you next time you're in Melbourne.
Thank you, Dennis. Yeah, you're always a guest to my shows.
Thank you very much. 18 to 2.